When you tell me
One.
what to do.
Welcome to Urban Reviews. I'm Adam.
And I'm Josie, and Adam's feeling bossy today.
I'm Peter. Welcome
Great.
to Wine Time with Peter. Today, I'm drinking Ravage Nightfall. It's a dark red blend from California.
Ooh, today I am drinking Arbor Mist, and it is the raspberry Moscato.
Ooh, I chose
That
mine
is,
because it's called Nightfall because there's actually a picture of a knight on it.
oh my god, that's cute. I like that.
Really
Is it
cool.
good?
And it tastes really good, and it was on sale. So I
Mine
recommend it.
was $8 for a double bottle,
Mine was
so like a
$9.
handle.
Mine was a regular size bottle for $9. But it was
Yeah, mine
originally like
was really, really
$18.
cheap.
This is really good. I would get it again, even full priced.
Hmm.
I have a bottle of water, so we all know
Is
who
it
the fun
sweet?
one here is.
No, it's not sweet. It's a dark red blend, so it's a lot more like
Uh,
rich. That's I like
I,
that a lot.
my palate is not refined enough to appreciate it.
It's just what I like. Like I like more like bitter coffee or stronger coffee, so that's why I
And
think
I
that's
like
just good.
really, really sweet. So,
See, there you go. It all
um,
makes sense.
do you like sweet at all? Because I have got the best wine for
I do
somebody
like
who
sweet
likes sweet
also.
wine.
I like it all.
Okay,
I just don't like white wine.
the brand is called Cupcake, and it's their Moscato d'Asti.
Okay, I would never assume that cupcake wine would be sweet.
I've had their like Pinot Noir, and it's not as sweet, but the
Okay,
Moscato d'Asti is delicious. It feels like you're drinking cake.
they did really good. It has a very wood has you can taste the wood in it. I love
I
it,
don't want to taste the wood in my drinks.
but it tastes good. You can taste the barrel.
Okie afterbirth.
Yeah, exactly. What's that from?
The Office.
Okay, that's
Um.
uh,
So we haven't quite, because of our messed up release schedule recently, we haven't really been able to cover some of the big stories that we've been prioritizing. Um. So we're gonna lump in a bunch of the really big ones that have happened recently, right now. So let me just draw up my paper I have here. Oh, rank is 153. Good for them. Um, so let's start out. New Wonder Woman trailer dropped today.
oh yeah, I saw that
Ooh,
drop.
Vito.
I've not watched
I
it.
haven't seen it.
I watched it about an hour ago.
How was it?
Um, well,
You hate it because it's tearing down the patriarchy.
here's how it looks to me. It looks like someone said, "What if we took part of Thor and then mixed it with part of Captain America
But then
You
put it
should
in.
love it then, because
and then
aren't
put
you?
it in World War One, the least
I,
exciting war?"
Not according to Battlefield One.
yeah, not a. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. It seems pretty exciting right about now.
I don't
What
know.
if you could DLC like for Battlefield One? Is you get Wonder Woman?
DLC for
That would
Battlefield
be
1 is just like
amazing.
trench warfare.
Oh my god.
You go like I don't know. It's
That
recorded, so they have to pay me now.
I would. I would sploosh.
Oh, that reminds me. I can do.
Why does sploosh remind
I
you?
was about to say the Halloween episode of Comedy Bang Bang, the podcast, is amazing because they do Monster Fuck 5, like Halloween Bone, and it's like the guy who originally wrote the Monster Mashes on it, but the real song that he wrote is called the Monster Fuck, and so he like redoes the entire song, and it's amazing.
Nice.
So 10 out of 10, recommend.
What the Wonder Woman trailer appears to do is it appears like they've kind of learned their lesson. I say hesitantly,
Their
considering we
lesson.
thought this
What kind of
episode said.
lesson did they learn? Are you
Well,
teaching lessons?
well, after what's it called? Batman v Superman was not well received. It appears as if they fixed that problem. This movie is
I doubt.
very good on the vibrant color. aspect.
That's surprising because this World War One is not what I associate with vibrant color.
It's also a very lighthearted movie, which again, World War One does not quite associate itself with lighthearted humor.
Well, it's also Marvel though,
It's DC.
and
No,
it's not about. Oh, sorry, Wonder Woman. My apologies. That was bad.
Marvel, even though Marvel has like 40 movies, they still have not had.
Are you sure that it's? Are you sure that it is? Because DC doesn't do lighthearted.
I am 100%. Like, I would bet like anything you wanted right now that this is a DC movie. Anything.
we all know this is a DC movie.
Oh, does that mean that I get it if I really, really want it? I mean,
Okay.
I don't understand. I thought you were supposed to.
You have to eat your dog on this podcast.
Oh my
not
gosh!
Then we'll get some listeners.
I don't think that would get listeners.
I think
confused.
we would get
How did we
press.
get to this
It would
point?
just be me munching.
How did we get to this point?
Because Josie does not
Don't
believe that Wonder
question
Woman
it.
is a DC movie.
Okay, it definitely is a DC movie, but that's not the point. I think if there was any movie to start the lighthearted on, it's not this one. Like, World War One is not
Okay.
exactly a lighthearted situation.
Well, DC's not supposed to ever be lighthearted. I don't
Well,
think
that's
they should.
not true. They
DC
can't. That's
should
just
ever
according-
be lighthearted.
That's just according to 2 movies.
3 movies.
No, their comic books are darker.
Not specifically.
Oh,
Like-
thank
Okay.
God. I'm watching a trailer again, and I get to see that fucking picture again.
Yep.
I need it, just in case I forgot from the first 60 times I saw it in Batman v Superman.
Yeah, that's how you know Zack Snyder's involved.
Can you
Also,
hear
fun
it?
fact. Do you remember in the beginning of Batman v Superman when they showed Bruce Wayne's parents' funeral?
Ding dong.
Yeah.
And there's like that top-down view of in the
I
rain.
definitely don't
all
remember
the
seeing
black umbrellas
his
at the
Yes.
funeral.
stats.
Was that the beginning or was that Superman's funeral at the end?
Can you repeat
I
that?
don't remember seeing him expose himself.
Can you repeat that question?
Where it's raining and it's you see the top-down view where it's all the
He was
black,
wondering if
umbrellas.
you'd gotten to see Superman's.
Can you please repeat the final question of did I get to see something?
No, okay. Do you remember the top-down view at one of the? It was either Superman's funeral or Batman's funeral. The top-down view
Of
in
his
the
junk.
rain, and you see just the black umbrellas by the casket
Yes.
or by the gravesite.
Yes, that was Batman's parents.
Do you know that scene was ripped directly, unabashedly, from Sucker Punch?
I did not know that because I've never seen the movie Sucker Punch.
I didn't see it either. I saw it in CinemaSins, and I was like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. And then I looked at Batman v Superman, and that was where it came from. And it literally is the exact same scene. I'm gonna have to watch both and see if it's the exact same one, just cut and paste. But they look almost identical. Like, it looks like he just cut and pasted the scene out of Sucker Punch and put it into Batman v Superman.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just watched the Wonder Woman trailer. I think it looks good because I think the war parts of Captain America were pretty like non-existent / shitty. So I think this will do a better job actually showing cool war scenes.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Trench warfare is the most exciting form of warfare. Everyone knows that.
Like, what's it called? I think they're gonna actually, like, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic. Just like how I'm cautiously optimistic for Justice League. I don't outright want to say, oh, it's gonna be good or it's gonna be bad, because I thought that after the first trailer for Man of Steel, and Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad, and here we are.
Suicide Squad was decent.
No, it wasn't.
It
I
was
liked
decent.
bits of it. I definitely thought it was decent.
And its director
it wasn't
is good
what I
too.
wanted.
The director of
You
Wonder
know?
Woman is a good director.
We'll talk about Suicide Squad more when we get to that in like January, because the movie comes out in December, and we have pretty much locked up our schedule for the rest of the year. So we'll cover that at the end or next year, in the beginning. But yeah. So in other DC Extended Universe news, the director of The Flash has left the movie.
Why?
Because he was like, "This is so good, I can't handle it."
Because he had creative differences with the production staff. So I don't know
Bummer.
what that means, or I know what it means. I don't know how it stands. I don't know if it means he had an issue with Zack Snyder and all them, or some other aspect of how he was making the movie. But all that said is he and the production, or the higher ups at Warner Brothers, had a fundamental disconnect about how the movie should proceed. So I think this is something you have to render judgment on when the movie comes out, but it will be delayed at this point because they don't have a director, and they were about to start production like the end of this year, early next year. So they have to find an entirely new director to rewrite the script and do all that.
Wait, why did they have to rewrite the script just because the director left?
Because DC wants to be seen as more director-driven, so they want more of the director's vision as to how the movie should be. But if you say, here's a script, make it based on this, but if you say, tweak it, you still want to give time for a director to tweak the script.
I guess so. Or just improv the whole movie.
As of right now, his major choice hasn't left, and that's Kiersey Clemons playing Iris West. She has not left the movie, and she is still slated to do a cameo in Justice League next year. So yeah, I don't know what else to make of that, because I haven't seen Dope yet. I still want to see Dope. That's the movie that Fukunaga made before this one, or he would have made Flash. But this is not his second director to leave, because in the beginning, the first people picked to direct the Flash were Lord and Taylor, not Lord and Taylor. The guys who made the Lego movie, Lord and Miller. That's what it is. They were the ones who were originally slated to do it. Then they left to do the first Han Solo movie. Then this guy got picked up to do it. Then he seemed really on board with it, and then he left. Now I have to find someone new.
Well, it could be like, remember the Wonder Woman director? The first Wonder Woman director left because she wanted to have an actual, like, tiger. Accompany Wonder Woman the whole time or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Which, and that was her, like, demand, and they're like, bye.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think, like, I don't think...
Were they like, how much crack have you been smoking today?
And then, so I remember some people were like, wow, this shows DC has no idea what they're doing. And I was like, no, like, I definitely support, like, DC on this one. Especially,
getting a tiger.
Imagine if it was, like, in the World War I setting, and she still just had a talking tiger with her the whole time.
Like Life of Pi, but dumber.
Oh, I hate Life of Pi.
But, what was it?
I love pie.
I like pie. I don't like Life of Pi.
My life is about pie.
My life is pie. Circle.
Sorry, there's too many jokes to be made about that movie.
When?
His name and the name of the movie.
Is this like the many jokes he had at the comedy Schindler's List?
I thought you meant that sounded like a long time ago we like made jokes about A Life of Pi.
What was it? So, and then the other director who departed his movie, Tim Miller, left Deadpool.
T.J. Miller? Just kidding.
Apparently, because he was adamant about having Kyle Chandler play Cable, and Ryan Reynolds was like, no, that's stupid. Do you know who Kyle Chandler is?
No.
Have you seen any of Friday Night Lights, the TV show?
Yes.
He's the one who plays the coach.
Okay, that's where I know that name, and that's weird.
That would have been a really bad choice for Cable.
Does Kyle Chandler want to do that?
Fortunately, he is still getting work though. He is, and I'm not kidding. This isn't me like joking around. He has literally signed on to direct a movie for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So
Sonic.
good for him.
I hope it's about Sonic.
Um, but yeah, so that was the other big director departure. Also leaving with him though was Junkie XL, who did the soundtrack for Deadpool, which wasn't that big of a loss.
I don't remember it at all.
Who's Junkie XL?
The DJ who did the soundtrack for Deadpool.
It's like the DJ did the soundtrack for Batman v Superman with Hans Zimmer.
Was it the same guy?
I don't know.
I think it might have been, because I heard that name before. I was like, oh, was he doing like Wonder Woman or something he left? No, he left Deadpool. But the name sounds familiar.
Oh, I fit Deadpool probably a little bit better.
Hans Zimmer did part of the soundtrack for Batman v Superman, and he said he's never doing a superhero soundtrack ever again.
Yeah. And you can tell whenever it's not Hans Zimmer because it's all like the weird, shitty. It's all the music in Batman v Superman that sounds like a 4-year-old could have done it, or just like generic. It just sounds like generic music. Like it doesn't even sound like anyone made it.
Or the Wonder Woman theme, which is really out of place. The Wonder Woman theme should have been the Justice League theme.
Yeah, I like the Wonder Woman theme. It was just too much.
It would have been better as the theme for the Justice League, not for Wonder Woman.
I agree.
Then and we have one final news bit. They have cast. So they're talking already about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them too at this point. The first one doesn't come out for another few weeks. That comes out on November.
Why would they even decide that there's going to be a second one for sure?
They're gonna make
they don't even know how the first one's going to be.
What
if it really sucks? They're making 5?
5.
They can't make 5.
5 what?
One book.
Strap in. Okay, first of all, it has nothing to do with the book because the book is a literal textbook.
Right. But like it's the thing behind it. It's the story behind it, right?
No. They're using the title because the main character, Newt Scamander, is the guy who wrote the book.
Yeah.
He literally wrote the book.
So that's why the movie is called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's about him. It'd be like when they do that for like an author who dies and they make his autobiography a play on the name of one of his books.
Like Mein Kampf, the movie.
Okay, if that helps you. But they announced that Johnny Depp will be playing the villain, or will be playing a character. I think they announced he's playing the villain in
That'll be cool.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them too.
Something.
Do you know who the villain is allegedly?
Voldemort.
No. Let me give you a hint. The movie still takes place prior to anything we've seen in Harry Potter.
Oh wait, is it the old bad wizard that was Dumbledore's friend?
Yep.
Yeah.
This movie takes place in Paris, and allegedly Johnny Depp is playing Grindelwald.
It's like Grim something.
That's who I said. I said that. I said the old bad wizard that was Dumbledore's friend. So
I said
yes.
Oh, okay. And he's in the last book.
What's his name again?
Grindelwald. He actually wasn't that bad. He was just misunderstood.
His entire existence in the books is an allegory for Hitler.
But he was just his quest for power corrupted him.
By the way, I like how everyone kind of glosses over this fact. But he was in when he was Hitlering, in the 30s and 40s. You know who his best pal who was helping him was?
Dumbledore.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone kind of just forgets about that, but that happened.
No, that's when they turned against each. Dumbledore is just this ain't cool, man.
No, but he doesn't even go this ain't cool. I'm gonna stop you now. He's like, this ain't cool, but I'm gonna go.
He just kind of ignores
for the next 30 years and then deal with this.
Well, that's because he was just he'll just come around by himself. I'll just leave.
As he massacres millions of people. Just
he
fine.
did it. But then Grindelwald felt bad.
Well, wasn't he not massacring a bunch of people? he just believed in like a hierarchy of wizards, and pureblood wizards were the better.
No, their whole
I think he
thing was
just.
they wanted to get rid of the statute of secrecy.
I
That
think
was
they
what
just
they wanted
believe
to do. They believe
wizards.
that wizards should be on top and the muggles should be subservient.
Yeah, I don't. His thing
Oh,
wasn't about pureblood wizards. I think it was just about wizards controlling people.
It was like wizards
okay.
first, something stupid like that.
That's
Yeah,
that
and
sounds.
then Grindelwald like felt bad for it eventually because he like kept the stuff a secret from Voldemort. Then
But I
died.
think this is not a good thing.
What did they announcing 5 fucking movies for this?
Well, that too. No. But that's one thing because like they announced like Ant-Man 2 before Ant-Man even came out.
Well, that's just because they know it's good. Like, at that point, anything with Marvel on it, it's just gonna keep going.
But okay, well, regardless, I think that announcing that Johnny Depp is playing the villain, and we see the villain the back of their head from this movie in one short scene in one of the trailers, and he's blonde with short hair, the same way Grindelwald is portrayed in the 1940s in Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Would you not be happy if Johnny Depp was Grindelwald?
No, my problem with I'm fine with the casting. My problem with this is the fact they're announcing it now, which means they don't have any faith in the current movie, so they're trying to sell you on the next movie. Remember how I said in the first one, like, Dumbledore has great faith in you, and I'm like, that's how you know this movie's gonna be bad. Now this is happening. This is sign number 2. What more do we need?
J.K. Rowling announcing she had nothing to do with the movie after saying she like helped write the movie.
No, not helped write the movie. She wrote the movie.
She's gonna say like, oh, I actually had like ghostwriters, like with that stupid play where
Yeah, exactly.
it came out just
That
like inspired by like
pissed me
J.K.
off
Rowling,
so much.
but it's like just 2 random guys actually wrote it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think that what's it called?
Did she write any of the other movies?
No, she didn't write any of the movies.
Yeah, this is not gonna be good.
I think this is gonna be. I think I'm gonna see it anyway. I already pre-ordered my ticket, but I'm not gonna like it. It's gonna be like seeing the prequels to Star Wars. Where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna see it. I'm not gonna be happy, but I'm gonna see it.
But I'll still rewatch the prequels for Star Wars.
What?
Me too.
I'll still rewatch the prequels for Star Wars. Like if this is bad, I'll probably never watch it again.
True.
Yeah, same.
At
I have
least
a
Star
feeling
Wars.
Because
that
it'll
this
ruin
movie will
everything
be
that I've always
bad.
loved.
Here's my prediction. This movie will be bad, but it's gonna have the same goalpost moving that Ghostbusters did. But instead of being, it wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was gonna be. It's gonna be, well, it's Harry Potter, and what more did you want? The movie's gonna get 70 to 80 on Rotten Tomatoes, 50 to 60 on Metacritic, and then it's gonna make millions of dollars, and everyone's gonna be like, why did I like pay for this?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna make a profit. No
Oh,
doubt
no, I'm not
about
saying
it.
it's not going to. I think it's gonna make like millions. It's gonna make Warner Brothers' year, which is
I was
good
about to say,
considering how much money Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad lost. I don't actually. Suicide Squad didn't lose money. Let me correct myself there.
I don't think either of them lost money, but Batman v Superman, they don't make like they were preparing for it to make over $1 billion, and it did not.
Well, that's the thing. It's Hollywood accounting, not real accounting. They
Yeah,
expect
so it
they
did
go
make
based on
money, but not
expected
enough.
earnings and spend based on that. So because it didn't make their expected 1.5 billion, they lost money on it because they spent like they were going to make 1.5 billion on Batman v Superman. Um. So yeah. I think that's it for those stories. Let's move on to the movies. So Josie, do you want to do As Above, So Below?
Sure. So,
I have a question
as
about
above,
that real
so
quick.
below, take. Okay, go for it.
Is this the foreign one or the American? This is the Paris one, right?
Ow.
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, I'm sorry about that. I kept thinking your movie was Let the Right One In,
No, I don't know.
and that's a different foreign horror movie that's pretty famous. I don't know why. I kept getting confused.
Hmm.
You may continue
No.
now.
Okay, so it's about it's this group of people that go into the catacombs in under Paris, and it's very creepy in the way it's not creepy. It's not scary per se, but it's definitely creepy as to how like these people they go there and just shit gets turned upside down, literally as above, so below. Haha. And it's very interesting, for sure.
Cool.
I don't know what you want.
I didn't watch the movie. I didn't have time to.
I was
It's kind of
I'm
like
reading the synopsis.
it's kind of like it makes hints at like the devil and two different worlds and
Wait, the Philosopher's Stone is in this?
Mm.
Yeah, this is definitely it. It says Scarlet, a young alchemy scholar, continues her dead father's work searching for the Philosopher's Stone,
Oh,
discovered by Nicholas Flamel.
Yeah, it's an actual legend that
well,
wasn't just made up for Harry
you
Potter.
can.
I thought it was, and I was like,
Nope,
God, this takes
actual
place in the
legend.
Harry Potter universe.
The entire
Well, I guess you
anime,
can
Full
tell
Metal
by my
Alchemist, is
ability
based
to
on
remember
it.
that. I guess you can tell by my ability to remember that part of it, which I guess was a key component. It wasn't all that key. You didn't really notice that. It was more just creepy, like,
Oh
oh my
yeah, never mind.
gosh, really uncomfortable close spaces. If you're claustrophobic, you're going to freak out a little bit. And just the creepiness of, holy shit, we've been here before. How does this keep happening? That kind of stuff.
You're just walking in a
look?
circle in the dark. It kind of happens.
Wait, hold on. I don't want to know.
It's supposed to be like a gateway to hell and all that. And
That seems cool.
Cool.
Like,
I
it's
intended to
definitely
watch it.
interesting. And
It's a movie I always see whenever I go to Walmart and like, here's the $5 like section of the DVD counter.
well, here's a $5 movie that is worth it to watch, I guess.
What would you rate it?
As just a creepy movie, I would rate it as, I don't know. I liked it, so 7.5.
All right. So, Peter, do you want to do the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2?
I'm just gonna continue and do all of them, because that's what I ended up doing. But yeah, I'll start. Okay, so the Evil Dead franchise is somewhat confusing, so I'll start and explain it along the way. So the first Evil Dead is about a group of 5 friends, 2 couples, and a fifth wheeler that go to a cabin in the middle of the woods to go on vacation, basically. So then it's a really creepy cabin, and it was basically an independent film that started the career of Sam Raimi.
Yes.
And so that's there's a lot of important things about this movie, that being one of them. They had a really tiny budget, and they filmed everything on location in this cabin, and so that's also really impressive. And the entire cast and crew would sleep in the cabin, so this cabin was everything. And it the only reason it became big was because Stephen King just decided to go see it when it went to a film festival, because it was at Cannes Film Festival, and Stephen King saw it and he's like, "This is fucking awesome." So then it got really big, and that's what gave him the sequels and basically launched.
I am
Sam
not a
Raimi's
fan
career.
of Stephen King.
Oh, I like Stephen King
there.
books.
I think you're in the minority then.
I really like his Twitter too. He's hilarious.
I know I am. I just think that it takes way too long for him to say that somebody went up the stairs. Okay. I don't want to read about how somebody went up the stairs for entire 2 chapters. Just tell me they went up the stairs. What happened at the top of the stairs?
I actually like his writing style, because especially for Under the Dome, when it's it bounces back and forth within a chapter with sub-chapters to different characters' points of view.
I do like that. It just takes me usually a 10 or 15 pages to get used to it. I have to get used to reading his book.
Under the Dome opens. You know what character is the first character's perspective you see in Under the Dome?
A cow.
No, a squirrel.
Okay. Does it get cut in half?
Yes, it got cut in half by the dome.
There you go.
Because
Okay, so
they adapted it for a TV show.
in this, you won't have that problem with because this movie gets right into it with like the horror. It was banned in certain countries when it first came out, and I think it was rated NC-17 also when it first came out. And I enjoy this
What is
because it's
NC-17?
N N as in Nancy.
Oh,
Like it was
sorry.
rated. It was basically at that time like rated X, like because it's and not because of sex. There are some boobs in it, but like it's not sexual at all. Like I think maybe one couple kisses at one
Are they
point. But
creepy boobs?
no, they're just like a girl's changing. Actually, there's another one. There's a scene where this other girl gets raped by a tree. That happens.
Holy
It's
fuck.
it's really disturbing. Like the gore is crazy. Like
Do you
and it's all
do you
practical effects.
watch it? Or
Yeah, you don't
is it
see.
just like, oh,
It's very implied. Like you don't see like it's not full frontal nudity. Like you don't see that, but you see like the tree going up inside of her like skirt, basically. So you know. And then I also watched this on Stars and like know how it gives you the ratings, like why it's rated R, basically.
Yeah.
And it like was like all the stuff, and it was like rape, and I was like, oh, there you go, because the tree rapes her. There's like the scene that makes me cringe, and I'm usually not cringe, like don't cringe at anything. And because this girl gets stabbed right, like knowing the meat of your ankle, like
Ooh.
in between like the Achilles tendon and like your actual foot. This girl gets like stabbed with a pencil through that, and then they like wiggle it around inside of it for like 5 seconds, and they show it. And like another guy gets his eyeballs like gouged out with like thumbs, and they like show you that happening. Like it's
so
crazy.
this is a gore movie?
Yes, but it's a really good horror movie also. Like the story, it doesn't rely on gore like the later Saw movies. Like it actually has a really good story behind it because it's like pagan ritual stuff almost. Because they find it's a professor's cabin, and they find like his recordings, and he like deciphered the Book of the Dead. And that's what, and they play his recordings. And that basically is what releases the evil spirits. And this movie also invented shaky cam, so you can because
Thank you, Sam Raimi.
you don't the main monster you never see, but you're in first person perspective sometimes of the main monster, and as it's like running through the woods or moving fast, it's shaky cam. So that movie ends. I won't say how it ends, but it ends. Then the second movie starts, and the second movie starts just like the first movie does. And then the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this looks the same, except there's only the one couple, not 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the entire events of the first movie happened in the second movie within the first 10 minutes. And then it's like a restarts almost as like the second movie is actually like a reboot, and it like begins again. But the second movie is much more horror comedy than just a horror movie. And it's even more gory, but gory in the sense of just crazy amounts of blood, not as cringe gore as the first movie. But it's really good. Like there's like a lot of chainsaw stuff and just like crazy amounts of just blood everywhere. Like it's really good. And then that one ends, and then Army of Darkness is the third one, which is a direct sequel from the second one, and that's when he gets transported back in time to medieval times to fight the evil dead. And that one is just a straight up like action comedy movie with amazing one-liners. Like there's this one part where he's like gets taken captive with other soldiers at that time, and then one guy's like, "Oh, I'm leader of all these men," and he's like, "Well, right now you're leader of 2 things: Jack and shit." It's really fun. And he has a shotgun also, like, and he shoots things, and people are like freaking out because it's medieval times. So then so he keeps calling them like
How
primates.
did this go from like a legit horror movie to like a total comedy?
I don't know, but it's amazing. That's why it's so because it's not just it's like knows that it's being like funny, like it's not trying to be serious, So it's not like The Room where you're watching it and you're like, wow, this is so fucking stupid, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, they know, like, they're writing it to be like that on purpose, and it's actually really good. And so out of those three, I think the first one is my favorite just because it's a really good horror movie. Then the second one, and then the third one. But they're all really good. And now there's the Evil Dead 2013 that just came out, which is a reboot, remake, and sequel all at the same time. And at first you're like, that sounds stupid, but this is actually one of the best modern horror movies I've ever seen. I think it's the best, like, because I tried to redo Friday the 13th.
Better than The Conjuring.
What did you ask? Like,
Is it better than The Conjuring?
I liked it better than The Conjuring, I think.
Wow.
It was, but this one, I think this is the most gory movie I've ever seen. Like, it was crazy how gory this movie was. And it was another one, and it was a couple twists in there that I didn't see happening, that it was very good. And it's also nice to see a modern horror movie that was rated R that did not rely on, like, have weird, that, like, random sex scenes or nudity. I don't think one person even kissed in this movie. Like, it was very refreshing. It was also it's definitely the best remake of an old classic horror movie, because they tried to redo Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and they're all not that good. This one is amazing. And it also has some good one-liners. But it's also connected to the original Evil Dead. But so I'm hoping it's in the first Evil Dead universe, so they continue it as a really good horror movie. But it could be in the other ones. But it is connected, because there's a post-credit scene that's really short.
And there's also Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yes, that's a TV show that I'm going to start watching, but I've not started watching it.
Mm-hmm. Apparently it's really
and
good.
That's more in just like the second and third movies, where it's much like comedy oriented. But that's really good. Like, the movie was really good. That one is also cringy in terms of gore and violence, where I think it's the only movie I've ever seen where when someone gets hit with a blunt object, like, you can actually feel, like, it sounds and, like, looks like, I think, what would actually happen. Because there's one guy that's about to get smashed with a crowbar in the face, so he puts his hand up, and then the person hits their hand with the crowbar, and you see, like, this part of their hand is, like, separated, and their fingers are all snapped and, like, bent. It's really cool. That guy also, there's, like, one character that I felt bad for, because, like, the entire movie he gets the shit kicked out of him. Like, he gets stabbed in the face with a syringe a bunch of times. He gets stabbed in the chest. He gets shot with a nail gun. I think his, like, back breaks at some point. Just, like, the worst stuff happens to him, and he survives, like, almost all of it.
So how would you
recommend
which of these?
Okay, I'll go through all of them. The first one, I'd give a 9, just because it's an independent movie, none of the people are actually actors, so there is a little bit of overacting in the first one.
Bruce Campbell.
Like, well, Bruce Campbell, not even Bruce Campbell, the other people in it, but yeah, Bruce Campbell also. He's also the executive producer of the first one and the rest too. Like, him and Sam Raimi are really good friends, and they made it together. So because of that, I give the first one a 9. The second one, the first one I would give a 9.5. The second one I'd give a 9. Army of Darkness, I would give an 8. And the new one, I would give an 8.5. Because they did a couple of things that I was, like, they made it more about demons, like heaven and hell demons, instead of what the original movie was more about. So that's why I knocked it down a little bit. But I highly recommend these movies. I
did want to watch those. I actually bought them. I just didn't get time to watch them.
Oh, they're so good.
But that first one is a very good horror movie, right?
Yes. I don't know.
Okay. Because I have been in the mood to watch a horror movie that was decent. And as I was telling you guys earlier, I watched The Conjuring 2. And I was very disappointed because I wanted it to be as good as The Conjuring, and it wasn't. It was sorely lacking.
Yeah, I like the Evil Dead.
Creepiness.
And the first Evil, all three of them are really, like, have all practical effects too. So And the newest one is mostly practical effects.
And then for the movie I picked for a horror episode, I picked Nightmare on Elm Street, the original,
The
which was
classic.
around the time that Hollywood decided to start the slasher genre because they developed technology to accurately be able to, well, not accurately, but do it
Make
and
it look
look
cool.
not awful, not like the Hammer horror movies with what was his name? Who was the one who played Dracula in all those?
Christopher Lee.
He was in Star Wars too, and Lord of the
Christopher
Rings.
Lee.
Christopher Lee,
Christopher
yes,
Lee.
yes. He was like it looked really bad, and then they made it where it looked okay ish, passable. So like, let's see if we
Hmm.
can violently kill people now. So then you get Friday the 13th, you get Halloween. Now you got this, where there's a supernatural aspect to it, but it's not entirely. There's a monster there, in the same way there was. Like, I've always liked monster movies more so than like supernatural horror. Like I prefer.
Really, the monster movies aren't as scary to me at all.
Well, the monster movies are usually like for me they're better. For me they're better story wise because basically every supernatural horror movie is basically the same in terms of
There's
story. Where
I
it's
don't
like,
like when movies rely on a lot of jump scares.
well, that too. Where it's like, well, the other thing is, it's like everyone's like, person goes to place where there's something haunted. Person doesn't immediately leave and decides to fuck around with the ghost. Person dies. Or person
Oh,
escapes. And look at how
that's
brave
why
they are.
Evil Dead is a good combo of supernatural and natural monsters. And they actually they'll try to leave like in the first like 20 minutes.
Good.
It does not go well.
But like that's the problem. Like paranormal activity. If you think that house is haunted, leave.
Oh my god, I hate paranormal activities.
But the house, I love them. They scare the bejesus out of me.
They don't scare. I just get.
I've only seen
Really, they
Paranormal
scare me.
Activity, and I think Paranormal Activity is the most overrated movie other than Avatar, the most overrated movie in the last 10 years.
I think recently a lot of people have been realizing that it's not that good. Like a year after it came out.
Well, no, what
I think
happened?
it's
I
like
still
five.
get scared because I still get jump scared because I don't really get scared by like the monster or the serial killer guy who's running after you. I don't know. Those don't scare me anymore. It's the jump scares that get me.
I do like jump scares sometimes. Like when we saw the trailer for not the Con, maybe it was the Conjuring too. I
I
forget.
forgot which one it was, but I know which one you're
It's
talking
But
the
it,
about.
it's those unexplainable ones that scare me because the bad guy ones don't scare me anymore. Like The Purge did not scare me, and that was supposed to be a scary movie.
oh,
And
hate the Purge.
I think at this point, The Purge is
I
not
don't know.
actually a horror movie anymore. I think it's more action.
No, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But
I
the
mean
Evil
the
Dead,
franchise.
I don't
Not
know.
the first Purge is obviously a survival horror, but then like now we're at the point where it's just an action movie because you got Frank Grillo in it. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
The first Evil Dead, I don't know if it will scare you as much, but it will definitely. It's a very enjoyable.
it's creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy and it's
Okay.
enjoyable to watch. And you'll be just I think disturbed.
Well, it sounds like it's more unexplainable stuff than it is like some creepy guy in his basement killing people.
Yes, it will be things that you've never seen before in other horror movies. I'll give you
Cool.
that. Like people getting like a girl getting raped by a tree.
Win-win.
Ew.
But no, I think A Nightmare on Elm Street also works.
What a bummer. I've never seen that before in a show.
Yep.
Wait a minute. I feel like there was a show that made fun of that.
I don't know.
It was
Maybe.
just like, no, I feel like it was American Dad. American Dad made fun of it, and it was like, no, don't rape me. And it was the little boy getting raped.
What?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I totally feel like
I think
that's
the
what
only,
it
the
was.
only rape joke from American Dad that I remember is when Stan starts dancing and the little boy gets up and starts dancing next to him and he's like, "Stop! This is why you keep getting molested." But the what was it? This movie also it went on way too long. This series.
Oh yeah.
But it worked because it makes you like What it does, it makes you afraid of, or the fear is supposed to come from something that you do every day, which is sleep.
Film myself with expensive camcorders with everything I do.
What?
Walk around with super expensive like recording equipment and just film every action I have.
There are people that do that.
That is true, I guess.
I was talking about Nightmare on Elm Street.
I saw somebody like that the other day at Walmart, and I was like, why are you filming shit in Walmart? There's nothing special here, I promise you.
No, there is.
I really like.
We are not in that ghetto of a place. I
Did you
promise.
see the thing? It's like I like going in at midnight. I like going to Walmart at midnight and picking on Halloween and picking out who's there from a Halloween party and who's just there shopping at Walmart at midnight.
We used to play.
I'm a midnight Walmarter.
Well, but yeah, I think what's it called?
I don't know about creepy looking.
Seen this movie.
Freddy Krueger, I like because he's like more of a fun bad guy.
Yeah.
But out of I would say the big three for like slasher movies are Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, and Jason Voorhees. So that would be Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween. Out of those three, I think Halloween is my favorite, but Freddy Krueger's up there. I like them a lot.
For me, I don't like. I like. I don't know if it's like I know obviously like what's it called Jason started it like that.
Jason also has the most confirmed kills too.
Like Friday the 13th was the first, but that's been done to death. That manner of like people go to what's it called? People go to like a camp. There's someone there and a master kills them all.
But you can't blame Jason for that because he.
No, I know, but then
it's also weird
Jason
because Jason actually wasn't
of that movie that they did.
Jason was not the first Jason.
Like I can blame it for the 10 movies that came out
after do you understand?
Friday the 13th. We should not have had Friday the 13th in space.
I think we did, or Jason Goes to Hell.
Or Freddy vs. Jason.
Jason wins.
Yeah.
Have you seen the first Friday the 13th?
I have seen the first Friday the 13th, yes.
Because Jason's actually not in it.
Yeah, I know Jason's not actually. We're not talking about that movie today, though.
I like Halloween a lot because I just like, I don't know, Halloween gets crazy. Like, they all get crazy. I think Friday the 13th gets the most outlandish because, like, in the 6th or 7th one, like, Jason possesses the soul of, like, someone else and then they turn into Jason. But then in the movie after that, they just forget about that and just go back to just being Jason.
Well, I think what ended up happening was they're like, let's try this. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try something else. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else.
Nightmare on Elm Street has a lot of cool effects in it.
Like Johnny Depp's death sequence.
Is the first one the one where the girl gets dragged around, like, and blood is like flying out of her, like on the ceiling?
The first one is the one.
That's Johnny Depp's in it, so yes.
I don't think that was that one.
Johnny Depp like watches a girl die.
Oh, okay, yeah, then it is. If it's Johnny Depp that watches her die, then yes.
Yes.
Because he like watches Freddy killing her, and Freddy's like dragging her around like crazy.
You remember how Johnny Depp died?
Was Johnny Depp into it?
No, he was just like there, and then
you say it like it was actually Johnny Depp. It wasn't his character.
I forget. I didn't watch the movie recently. I saw it a long time ago.
I've seen the movie within the last 2 weeks, and I don't remember the character's name.
Yeah, exactly. These movies aren't very character driven. Besides Freddy Krueger.
Like, I've never seen any of the Evil Dead movies, and I know the name of the main character's name is Ash.
Yeah, I can't tell you the other people in the movie besides Ash.
Yeah. But like,
and the professor's name is like Nobi. I know that one too.
But like at this point, I think trying to sell someone on A Nightmare on Elm Street isn't that hard, considering it is one of the first major slasher movies. And if not one of the first major, it's one of the more famous ones, where I think it's just mandatory viewing at this point. If you're going to say you like horror and you've not seen one of these, I think you have to see these. You have to see, like, Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman and, like, I think Evil Dead's in there, The Conjuring,
not I guess the Screen Junkies, not movie fights, but the actual show, did like a tournament style of like best horror franchises that I recommend. Because if you like are interested in classic horror franchises, then this is it. Because they do like top like 16 and put them against each other, and it's like movie critics like debating each one. I think the Living Dead series won first place, which makes sense. Because that's like Night of the Living Dead, like Day of the Living Dead, like all of those. Because those are all George Romero movies. And that started like zombie films and basically modern horror.
Yeah, I think you got to include like if you're gonna talk about how we got to where we are today with horror, I think you have to obviously acknowledge Blair Witch.
Yes,
I like the Blair Witch Project.
I do too. I wanted to see the new one, but
I think it's still creepy.
It's definitely creepy. Have you seen the second Blair Witch movie?
No.
No, I haven't.
It's really horrible, but it's really funny. It's called like Blair Witch 2: Book of the Dead, and there's literally
I have seen it.
There is not one book in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with a Book of the Dead, or really the Blair Witch.
It's like Troll 2.
In no sense, like it's really, it's like so bad. It's funny, but
Troll 2.
And then
isn't it like almost exactly the same kind of plot, except?
No, not at all.
It is nothing else.
It has nothing to do with it has really nothing to do with the Blair Witch Project.
Well,
That's why it's.
I mean, like, aren't they in the same woods or something like that?
No, it's not even if they're in like a warehouse.
Really? Okay, I'm thinking of something else. Then I apologize.
A new one did come out, like recently, like this year.
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
Oh, it's called Book of Shadows: Blair Witch 2. Oh yeah, that's it. In the Blair Witch 2, it's like it's people that are obsessed with the movie The Blair Witch Project, and then they like all die.
Good.
But it's not found footage. It has like nothing really to do with it.
Found footage needs to die. I think we've run our course. What we could do with found footage as a subgenre.
Yeah, found.
But I would for what I would rate, Nightmare on Elm Street, I'd give it a solid 8.5. I
agree.
Like if you haven't seen it already, it's one of those movies where I think basically everyone has at least heard of it. And if they haven't heard of it, they've seen it.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
If they haven't heard of the movie, they've seen it.
Because if you don't really like horror movies that much, like some people just are not a fan,
like me,
like you would like this movie because it's not really. It's like more of the idea where you can like die while you're sleeping. That's weird, but like Freddy Krueger just as a character by himself is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing.
Like
isn't he a pedo though? That's not funny.
You could get around that.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't think he was a pedophile. I think he just killed children.
No, they show it in the most recent one where it was like, yeah, we're gonna make another Freddy movie, and they show that he was a pedophile.
Oh, we don't acknowledge that because
is it not canon? I don't know what the fuck's canon.
We don't acknowledge it because we don't believe it to be canon. So we can just do that.
Adam, I don't give a shit.
Oh, wait. We
Word
can't just
to
say
my house.
certain things are not canon because we don't like them. I'll keep that in mind next time we talk about Star Wars.
Oh my god.
I knew she was. Hold on. There's also been a shit ton of Nightmare on Elm. There's also been a shit ton of Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like, probably just as much.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, never mind. There have not been. I take it back.
I think there are like 7.
There's 6 of the like original ones. Then there's Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Then there's Freddy vs. Jason. Then the newest like remake, Nightmare on Elm Street.
So I was right, 7.
Do you want to know who the producer of the newest one is?
Who?
I'll give you a hint, and then you'll definitely get it. Okay, he's recently gone into trying to make horror movies, but we saw the trailer for his horror movie, and everyone laughed.
Oh my god, I don't. Oh, Michael Bay.
Yes, he is one of the producers of the newest Nightmare on Elm Street.
Because that was for
Ouija.
Ouija.
Oh yeah, Ouija.
Yeah, for the first
Which
one.
which literally
The house
at the
blows
end of
up,
the
and I was like,
trailer
yep, there we go.
and everyone in the movie theater started laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Nightmare on Elm Street,
Ouija?
and A Nightmare
Yes.
on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, then A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, then 4, The Dream Master, 5, The Dream Child, 6, The Final Nightmare. The names in them are amazing.
I think there's one other franchise we haven't touched on. I've never seen any of the movies in it, and I refuse to, on principle. I think Peter knows what I'm talking about.
As a horror franchise?
Yeah, it's a horror franchise that I will refuse
But
to
you've
watch.
never seen any of the movies, though.
I've never seen any of the movies, and I will never watch any of them.
Can you give me a hint?
Oops.
I think that's enough of a hint. I think you should know by now, because, like, there's one subgenre of horror.
Nobody can read your mind, Adam.
Child's
Can you
Play.
just... Oh, okay. You made
I
it
don't
sound
do
like
puppets.
you made it sound like you refuse to see it because like you think they're horrible movies.
No.
But I've seen Child's Play is another one where it started off like as a horror movie, but now they're more comedies. I think they're not that good. I like the first one, but I think I saw the second one. I don't think I've seen any of after that.
No, I don't do puppets, though. Like, that was... Like, I literally shut my eyes in the theater when they were showing the Annabelle trailer that time. Like, I was like,
It's
I am
not
not
puppets,
doing
it's a doll.
It's in the same family.
this.
Oh wait, do you want to know another fun thing?
Sure.
Michael Bay was also one of the producers on the newest Friday the 13th film.
Doesn't really surprise me.
If he was one of the producers on the Halloween franchise. He was not. Don't worry.
So let's move on to our final topic for tonight. The upcoming movies and what we think is going to be good. For some reason, now the last 2 months of the year, what was previously just reserved for Oscar bait movies have a lot of movies that are like what's it called? Like blockbusters coming out. So starting out with this week we have Doctor Strange going up against Trolls.
Who will win?
Aww. Trolls
Obviously,
look
Doctor
so
Strange is going to win that
cute.
battle.
No. Trolls. Because it looks cute.
No. But yeah, I think it's gonna be passable. I don't like DreamWorks movies too much, or Imagination. I think it's the one that did Trolls, not what's it called? Not DreamWorks. I know nothing about this movie. I just realized. The fact that it's based on Trolls, the toy.
Oh, it looks so cute. It's a funny movie.
Oh,
I bet
nope,
it's going to be
Fox.
just as good
Trolls.
as the Smurfs.
Nope,
Huh?
it's Fox.
No, I think it'll be better than the Smurfs because they don't put them in the real world. And that's
This comes from the
stupid.
makers
I
of
think that is
Ice
the
Age.
most stupid thing. The only time that is okay is the Muppets.
Why is
Otherwise,
that?
keep your cartoons and your fake shit away from reality.
What about Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
No.
That's the first one
I mean,
that did it.
Yeah,
I
that's
do like-
wrong.
I do like that one. I forgot.
There have been older movies that had crossovers with what's it called? That have been They had crossed over with other ones. There's famously Jerry from Tom and Jerry was in a movie. There were a few times Bugs Bunny crossed over into mainstream movies.
Like the one with Brandon Fraser.
No. I mean an actual movie that had a sequence with Bugs Bunny in it. But yeah, and then this week has a lot of Hacksaw Ridge comes out this week. That's I think gonna be an Oscar contender. That's gonna get Mel Gibson back into the mainstream. and I think it's going to net an Oscar nomination for Andrew Garfield if he doesn't overact his way through this movie like he did through the Amazing Spider-Man series. Then next week is Arrival, which looks pretty good. That's the one with Amy Adams and the aliens. And Jeremy Renner's in it.
Can I go on a mini rant about something I saw this Halloween?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No.
Okay. Well, I saw a group of people that went to Halloween as a Space Jam basketball team, and I was pissed off.
Why? Did they do it wrong?
Yeah, all they fucking did was wear Space Jam jerseys. And they tried to say that they went as the Space Jam basketball team.
What was it? Was it a college costume? I mean, what more do you want?
They were out of college.
How old were they?
Mid-20s.
Okay, that's just sad.
Like, they didn't even attempt to make
Were they going drinking?
The cartoon characters. I don't know. And they didn't even... And
You mean they didn't do blackface? Gosh.
I was about to say... I wasn't going to say that. I was about to say they didn't even have, like... There's not a single black person in their group. I was like, I feel like you can't do that either.
You couldn't even get someone to put on bunny ears, like, close enough. Like, we made an attempt at least, like...
Exactly.
You can go to Walmart and get them for, like, $10. If that, like, 5.
I was annoyed. Because people were like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, I remember that movie. And I was like, where in the movie was there a fucking, like, group of white people playing basketball? Like, riddle me that.
Like, why does it have to be a totally, like...
I remember Bill Murray playing basketball in that movie.
You were just annoyed because white people were having fun?
No, I was annoyed because it was people, like, that all they did was... This is literally the new Star Wars movie. Because fucking all they did was take a jersey with the name of a movie that people remembered and liking and wear it. And not put any effort into making it actually like...
They didn't wear shorts or anything?
I don't know. I didn't see their shorts. But they didn't dress up like... They didn't put, like, bunny ears on. Or, like, Tasmanian Devil. Or Daffy Duck. I almost said Donald
Or
Duck.
blackface?
Yeah. They could have gone the extra mile. I would have respected their bravery. Yeah. Oh, wait, did you hear? There was a law professor from, I forget what law school it was, that went the Halloween in blackface and didn't understand why people were mad about it.
What do you mean? Like straight up blackface?
Yeah,
or
like,
is he trying to look tanner?
No, as their Halloween costume, he, like, read a, like, autobiography by a black author and decided to go to Halloween as that black author by doing blackface. And thought that was it. Oh yeah, it's a book.
Was he fired?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. It's like a book called A Black Body in a White Coat or something like that. And it's like it's like about one of the first African Americans that went to med school. And then I guess because he's a white law professor, he was just like, I'm gonna go as that. So he like did blackface and wore a lab coat.
Do you think it was because he was like, oh, I'll just sue my way out of this?
Maybe, but it did not work out for him.
Alright. Also, Hilary Duff got in trouble because she went as a pilgrim with her boyfriend who went dressed as a Native American.
That's what I was like. I'm pretty sure she didn't get in trouble for going as a pilgrim. I think it was her.
No, she got in trouble for not talking her boyfriend out of it and going in public with him.
Oh my god. And
this is the point we've reached as a society.
That's like I saw on Huffington Post, they annoy me. It was just like, there's some, I forget what college it is, but they're providing counseling if you get offended by someone's Halloween costume.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was listening to Tell 'em Steve.
But then it's those same people who go out there and are just like, everyone needs to grow a pair. I don't know why people get so easily offended. Oh my gosh, she's wearing feathers on her head. I'm 1/8 Native American. How could she do that?
Well, part of it was people dressing as a homeless person. and they're like, "How dare you make
I've
fun of
seen
homeless
that.
people?" And I was just like, I don't think they care. It's not like they have computers to look it up. They won't even know about it.
It's just, oh my gosh. I think that it's offensive if you
Go in blackface.
obviously go like as a Muslim with a bomb to your attached to your chest, like a fake bomb to your chest. Like that's offensive. But
Why?
if you're going as an Indian, like a Native American, why is that? I mean, like as long as you're not.
I see why that could be offensive going as an Indian full headdress. Like I understand that.
I think it's offensive when what you're doing is making fun of the culture, but if you're trying to, like, if you put a little bit of effort and try to make it look authentic, air quotes,
it wasn't very
or as authentic of as possible, then it's okay. But
All right, how
it's
about this?
like on Saved by the Bell when Zach went as a Native American for a Indian project.
All right, how about this one though? Have both of you seen something about Moana, the new Disney movie coming out in 2 weeks?
oh, Moana looks so cute.
With
Okay,
Dwayne
so you're
the
both
Rock
aware.
Johnson.
You know what the character The Rock is playing. You know what he looks like.
He's that fat guy.
Yeah. So Disney put out a costume this year that they had to recall
Because it like appropriated like ancient like Hawaiian culture or something.
because people said it looks like you're skinning us to wear our skin as a costume.
Maybe that's what the little kids want.
And I'm like, why was there no outcry like this
Gosh.
for like Hercules? When like he wore a full bodysuit for Hercules.
You know what? Next, it's gonna be you can't be a Viking because you don't have Nordic in your blood.
I don't
Sorry.
think so, because Vikings come from white people, and these people will never get offended of anything you ever do to a white person's culture.
True.
That's why
Let's get back
they're
on topic.
all these people are very hypocritical about anything like that. Where as long as they like get offended on behalf of minorities.
So, going back to this, Hacksaw Ridge. Do you think you would see Hacksaw Ridge, or are you gonna wait till it comes out on DVD, or should I ignore it completely?
Is this the Mel Gibson movie?
The Mel Gibson movie with Andrew Garfield.
I'll probably wait for it to come out on DVD just because I don't feel like paying money to see it. Paying movie theater money to see it.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna see it. I think I'm ready to take Mel back.
I'm going to reserve to see. I will only see it if there's a Best Actor up at the Academy Awards, or Best Director, or Best Picture.
I think because I'm gonna defend Mel Gibson for a second.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay, I don't defend
No.
his comments, but he was a raging alcoholic drug addict at the time he said the things he said. So I feel like that now that he's been blacklisted out of Hollywood for 10 plus years, and he's normal again, that we can take him back now that he's recovered.
So moving on to the next week, we have Arrival, which is that one we were talking about before. Nothing else really that week. Then on the 18th, there are 2 movies coming out, one of which, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, obviously we're going to see. The other, I can't tell if the movie actually looks good, or if it's just the screaming endorsements and Woody Harrelson that make me think the movie looks good. It's called The Edge of 17.
Ooh, did they play that song the whole time?
Yes. Have you seen the TV spot for it? They do play that song in it.
No, but I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it's what's it called? It's a new coming of age comedy. I'm assuming in the same vein as Juno.
Ooh.
And they in the trailer, one of the endorsements says this generation's Breakfast Club. So I'm like, it can't be that.
Shit
bad.
like that happens way too much.
Yeah.
When
people make that proclamation way too often.
Especially with the Breakfast Club. The only one I would ever say is kind of similar to that is super bad being related to our generation's Animal House.
Even that.
Because I like them. Because I like that movie a lot, and it's just you saw that. For at least me and all my friends saw that in high school, well before we were should have seen that movie, so it made it that much better.
Uh,
I like Superbad a lot. It's funny.
I feel like this is a movie. It's got pretty good reviews so far on Rotten Tomatoes, but I want to wait to render judgment on it until it's just something that if it comes out and it turns out it's really good, I might see it. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to if it's not like phenomenal. And by the way, those reviews that came out and said they were that good all came from like film festivals, not from like random people off the street.
That's good. I'm watching a trailer with no sound on right now.
Then November 23rd is Moana.
Oh, 3 days. Whoa. Do you know something? Want to know
Can't
something
wait
crazy?
for Moana.
Okay, so November 23rd, 3 days after my birthday.
Yes.
But it's also I'm turning 23.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Great.
Totes.
That's only the
Hey.
fourth year that could have happened.
Speaking of totes, so I got my Loot crate in, my Loot gaming crate, and
Sponsored by Loot Crate.
I I said that I was going to start saying like what I'm getting in my crates every month. So this month I got a t-shirt from Titanfall 2.
We are not sponsored by Loot Crate at all.
I will be sponsored if they want me to.
This month you got 16 dildos.
No. Jerk. Okay, so I got a Titanfall 2 t-shirt. I got these awesome Game Over Sonic the Hedgehog hobo gloves, the ones that have the fingers cut off.
Wow.
And they're really cool. I like them. I like them a lot. And what else? Got Zelda. Got Zelda socks. I feel like there was one more thing. Oh yeah, I got a really like those those little pop guys with the big heads.
Mm-hmm.
Little pop character thingies. I got Reaper from Overwatch, which was very, very cool. And and Pac-Man Band-Aids.
No, that's good. Like, that's practical.
Yeah,
Anyway,
a bunch of stuff.
so a week after, the big release, the big marquee release, is the movie Kidnap with Halle Berry. It's basically Taken with Halle Berry. That's all I really need to say about it. The one that week that is apparently a really good movie coming out is called La La Land. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh, yeah. That's one with Ryan Gosling, right?
Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. That one, I want to watch the trailer for. I haven't done that yet. And every time I see the movie on the cover of a magazine, I'm like, oh, I should watch the trailer for that, but I never actually do. I think it's going to sum up how likely I am to see that movie, though. But if it is good, I will see it. Because there is buzz about Emma Stone being nominated for Best Actress, making it her second Oscar nomination.
That's fine. As long I'm fine. I'd rather her than
Andrew Garfield.
What's her name? No, not Andrew Garfield. There's
Jane
another
Levy.
girl. No.
Who looks exactly like her.
Who? Oh my God, what's her name?
It's crazy how much those two look alike.
Oh my God. She was in the Hunger Games.
Jennifer Lawrence.
There you go.
Then there's nothing really big until December 16th with Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Which is going to be okay. At the very least, it's going to be passable, I think, at this point. Like, I don't think it's going to be bad. And really, that's it. I haven't really heard any other buzz about movies coming out yet for the rest of this year, besides those major ones. Next year has a lot of movies. Now we'll talk about those later as we get closer to 2017. But there was one big one that got announced today. Apparently, they in secret filmed Diary of a Wimpy Kid 4 with an entirely new cast.
Cool.
Yeah, like that's weird, right? I'm not the only one who thinks that's weird. Because the entire cast went through puberty, so they needed an entirely new cast. Um,
Oh wait, do you want to know something cool?
sure.
When you said Jane Levy, I was just like, where else do I know her from? Besides, she was in Suburgatory, right?
Yeah, it's Purgatory.
She's also the lead in the new Evil Dead.
Hmm. She also looks exactly like
Emma Stone. Yes.
Emma Stone.
I
She
definitely
also
agree
has
with
already
that.
been
That's why I was just.
divorced.
Oh, I thought she was like my age.
Maybe, but she's
Who?
already been divorced.
That's cool.
Who?
Jane Levy.
Who's that?
Anyway, also, one final thing before we finish off for the night. Did we acknowledge that movies coming out 3 weeks apart next year both have, what's it called? Both have Johnny Cash songs in their first trailer.
Ah,
Because
that makes.
Logan has Hurt, and that's March 3rd. Power Rangers had a very weird cover of Walk the Line, which is not exactly the song you think of when you think of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but that's the song choice they went with for that. So that's those are both coming out next year, 3 weeks apart. Um, so yeah, upcoming. Let me bring up the upcoming list. We we did change our schedule a little bit. I have it in here. Any other final thoughts while I find this?
um. Oh, the new Evil Dead I was talking about was actually also rated NC-17, and the studio made them tone down the violence. So that's the kind of movie. The movie that I was mentioning was so gory. It's like just underneath being rated on NC-17.
All right. Also, we
And
didn't
unlike
acknowledge this.
Animal Superman.
Congratulations to the Chicago Cubs for winning the
Oh yeah,
World Series for the first time in 108 years.
and not burning down the city of Chicago.
Exactly. Also, did we acknowledge how good that game was last night? Like, that's a
I
classic
got to
Game
watch
7.
the end of it.
Like that was a tremendous game to watch. Um, now, so next week we're doing Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. Then the week after, we have Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and Part 2. And the week after, for Thanksgiving, we have Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. Um, Tonight, we will be putting up the pre-thoughts for Doctor Strange, which comes out Friday. We will have the final thoughts on what we think after the movie on Saturday. Um, and the reason why I want to put up the pre-thoughts tonight, we don't usually do that, is because I want everyone to know if I'm right about what I think is going to happen in this movie. I want everyone to know that I said it before the movie came out.
Okay.
So that's why it's going live tonight. We don't usually do that. And if you want to, we have our website, 30minutereviews.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at 30minreview. And we are always on Thursday nights on Spreaker at around 9:45 by the time we get all set up. But sometime between 9:30 and 9:45 we're live. So we'll be back next week with Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond.
Woo.